Joshua Rex. Today is Monday, July the 6th, and today the great country music legend Charlie Daniels has passed away. If it's one song request I get the most often, it's The Devil Went Down to Georgia. And if it's one song that I get from my students that they want to learn how to play the most, it's The Devil Went Down to Georgia. It's almost a personality trait at this point if you're able to play it. So I thought I would give a little memorial tutorial teaching how to play The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So we are in the key of D minor. It's also useful if you can throw in that C sharp. As it tends to go to the A. All right, so the original lick, it goes a little bit like this. Okay, I'll do that again and I'll do it much slower. Okay, so let's go over each one of those things, and I'll play each one of those little segments, and I'll play them individually here. I'm a Celtic player by study, so occasionally I throw in one of those little warble things. You'll have to excuse those for the time being. If forgive those for the time being. Okay, so Charlie Daniels did this song with all separate bow strokes, so it sounded like. I tend to slur a few of mine. It's really up to your interpretation of how you want to play the song. I've never heard this song played the same way twice, and you should not settle for one particular recording. You should let your own style influence how you play this particular song. Okay, so each one of those segments again. Okay, so C sharp right there. Okay, so there's the first segment. You go down to A for the second segment. Okay, and then here's the walk down. D to E, back down to D, to A, C to D, B flat, G, F, D. And I'll do that again without commentary, very slow. Then you have this kind of syncopated part right here. Right there. Okay, so the whole thing sounds like this. Okay, and you can slide into that D if you want to start your run there. I like to start my run down on A. I made one error there. I'll go ahead and correct it when I go back and and tell the story behind what I do here. I like to use for the run up, instead of a B flat, I replace it with a B natural. And the reason why is either it's on the original recording, or I'm taking the advice of the piano player Ben Folds, who likes to throw in occasional wrong notes to capture the attention of the audience. It also moves the D into the Dorian mode, which makes it more interesting, from my point of view anyway. So here's that run up again. Okay, so those notes, A, B, C, D, and then E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, third position shift to A, and then C or C sharp, depending on how spicy you're feeling, and then just go crazy. Not pressing all the way down on the strings, just enough to get that nice harmonic content. Okay, and do a nice little slide up to signify that the end has come and the singer is ready to sing. So the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind, and he was willing to make a deal. When he came upon this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, Charlie Daniels goes like this. Okay. What I like to do is I like to throw in sometime around the words, let's see, when he came upon this young man sawing on a fiddle, I like to start this run. Okay. So that's actually a throwback to the tune Lonesome Fiddle Blues by Vassar Clements, originally performed by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And that is the song that The Devil Went Down to Georgia was sourced by. So it goes... Sounds very similar to The Devil Went Down to Georgia, okay? So then what I do is... very slowly. One more time. A little bit of sol ponticello on the end there to give it some harmonic richness. Okay, some squealy richness. Good. And then the rest of the words go, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too, and if you care to make a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play a pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul. I think I'm better than you. My name's Johnny. It might be a sin. I'll take a bet. You're going to regret the best it's ever been. Okay. So then what goes on here is it goes, the chords, the band joins in, you know, Johnny, rosin up your bow and play your fiddle hard because the hell's broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. They only paid me to play the fiddle, not learn the words, so I have them pulled up here. So if you win, you get this shining fiddle made of gold, but if you lose, the devil gets your soul. Okay, so I like to play the chords here. D minor, C, G minor, and then I do that little run up. If you lose, you get this, or if you win, you get this shining fiddle made of gold. If you lose, the devil gets your soul. Walk down. Okay? So that's just what I do. You can do whatever you want. I've found it works very well for me, and the audience really likes it. So then you go back to... Okay, so then Devil opens up his case and says, "I'll start the show." And fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow. Okay? So for fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow, I like to go up here in the upper positions and hit these harmonics. Okay? And then he pulled the bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. You're going to want to go behind the bridge to make that evil hiss sound. Okay? And then a band of demons joined in and it sounded something like this. And then the guitar player goes. And then the bass player goes. Something like that. But anyway, very recognizable. Okay, so then you're going to want to go. Okay, and you'll want to reach the peak by the time the drummer really kicks in and starts hammering on the crashes pretty hard. You'll want to reach that high peak, reach as high as you can go. There's no limit. The sky is the limit. Okay, and then as soon as the drummer starts crashing pretty hard, you go. I like to do that, just the. Something like that. Because then you're going to want to go. Okay? So let's review that one more time. You're going to want to go. Okay, so you can either go like that, you can saw your bow across the strings like that, or you can do these like little hammer-ons. Okay, I like to use these little runs. I like to end those on an open E. And then you join the rest of the band for that, for those final hits. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, bum, bum, bum. Okay? So then, let's see. When the devil finished, Johnny said, "Well, you're pretty good, old son, but sit down in that chair right there and let me show you how it's done." Here it goes. Fire on the mountain, run, boys, run. Okay? Use double stops. Like that. Okay. Here's what Charlie is, like an approximation of what Charlie plays. Using a standard Nashville shuffle for your bow. Okay. That wasn't it, but. Okay. The devil's in the house of the rising sun. So, sorry, that was not right. That was not correct. Let me try that again. The devil's in the house of the rising sun. Again with double stops. Okay. Chickens in the bread pan, picking out dough. Then you go back to C. It switches from D major to C throughout this entire thing, by the way, so you can improvise where necessary. Granny does the dog bite, no child, no. And then sort of that hokum shuffle. And then you're going right into slow that part down. It's pretty repetitive and pretty easy to pick up, so switch to A major. Double stops all the way through. The melody line once again with double stops. Okay, and using standard Nashville style shuffle for your bowing there if you want to. I like to do a late start to that so it messes up my shuffle a little bit. So I'm doing Georgia shuffles a lot of the time when I go into that. It just sort of depends on how fast the band is playing. Okay, so then the devil bowed his head because he knew that he'd been beat, and he laid that golden fiddle down on the ground at Johnny's feet. Johnny said, "Devil, just come on back if you ever want to try again. I done told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best there's ever been." And they play again. Fire on the mountain, run boys, run. Okay, double stops. The devil's at the house of the rising sun. Okay. Charlie also does this weird kind of thing with double stop. That I'm not sure how to play. I've never personally played it before, but it's worth going back and listening to the record to figure out what it is for some variation. Again, you're also not bound to the recorded version at all. You can just play whatever the hell you want for this part. These are all names of fiddle tunes, okay? So Fire on the Mountain, obviously, House of the Rising Sun was an Appalachian tune, Chicken Pickin', and Granny Does the Dog Bite are all names of fiddle tunes, okay? So then Chickens in the bread pan picking out dough. Then Granny does the dog bite, no child, no. You could do something like that even. And then that way you could do an open E and end up right back on this part. And then we're right back to the ending, which goes. Okay, one more time. And then. Okay, so you're joining the band with this one. That's D, C, B flat, open. And then. And then to end it off, you just go or however you want to do it. Okay, so I'll go through all of that one more time. So let me try that again. Okay, you do all of that, and then Devil went down to Georgia, yada, yada, yada. When he came across a young man sawing on the fiddle and playing it hot, or on fiddle, and with some soul ponticello, right? And then, let's see, the sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, Devil jumped up on a hickory step, said, "Boy, let me tell you what, guess you didn't know it, fiddle player 2, yada, yada. So it might be a sin, I'll take your bet, gonna regret, and because I'm the best there's ever been." And then the band comes in, D minor, C, G minor, You might want to go, on second thought, yeah, you might want to go stay tonic with it. If you win, you get this shining fiddle made of gold. If you lose, the devil gets your soul. The devil opened up his case and said, "I'll start the show." And fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow. And he drew his bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. And a band of demons joined in and it sounded something like this. Guitar player does that, the bass player. Something like that. And then you're gonna do that was different from what I did before. I went into third position and just did an octave like that. You can even keep going. Yep, and if you wanted to do that, be really flashy, this is the song for that, okay? And then, let's see here. When the devil finished, Johnny said, "You're pretty good, old son. Sit right down there in that chair over there and let me show you how it's done." I'm paraphrasing the lyrics here. "Fire on the mountain, run boys, run. Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chickens in the bread pan picking out dough. Granny does the dog bite, no child no." Good, and then the devil bowed his head because he knew he'd been beat. Laid that golden fiddle down on the ground at Johnny's feet. Johnny said, "Devil, just come on back if you ever want to try again." Why would he invite him a second time? You've defeated a character in the Christian canon who was like the most feared. Just take the W and move on with your life, dude. I done told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best there's ever been. He's made that clear by now, okay? So then, fire on the mountain, run boys, run. Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chickens in the bread pan picking out dough. Granny does the dog bite, no child no. Good. All right. So that is "The Devil Went Down to Georgia" by Charlie Daniels. May he rest in peace. Thanks. Hit like and subscribe if you want to hear more tutorials about fiddle tunes that you like, and maybe even some that you don't like that you are getting paid to do, such as "The Devil Went Down to Georgia." I'll see you later.